What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and Mark Hamill made an oopsie doopsie. That's right, chatting up literal bad guys from WW2 on this whole thing. By the way, shout out to my Ukrainian viewers. I've got mad love for you. Okay, I hope that you're safe. And by the way, shout out to my Russian viewers too, and I hope you stay safe. Okay, it's governments that I would disagree with, not the citizens who are often just, the, the unwitting, they're on the receiving end of what their governments do. I wish that all this would end, obviously. But I do think it's pretty funny how all these people in Hollywood have infinite time to fly over to Ukraine in a war-torn country and, do these Zoom calls and do musical performances. And meanwhile, the United States keeps sending billions of dollars, but we don't have money to secure our own borders. We don't have money for homeless veterans. We don't have money for homeless people. We don't have money for helping people get off all these pills. We don't have money, but we've got money to send to the Ukraine for their proxy war with Russia. All right. But Mark Hamill chats up Ukrainian Nazis, a new video, and gets roasted by fans. If you don't know, in general, where Mark Hamill's at, is he's an exceedingly woke, typical Hollywood lefty, but he's also extremely annoyingly woke. Like, look, you could be a liberal and it's not like, it doesn't bother me at all. Like, even I had like a waitress this weekend that was like, made some weird like global warming comment. And by the way, I'm super pro environment and we should take way better care of our planet. So, but like, I was like, what? Why is it just bring my enchilada, lady? But like, it doesn't, like, people can have liberal views and whatever, and it's not a big deal. You don't have to be insufferable about it, right? And by the way, there are insufferable conservatives too, okay? Life is so much more than politics. It should only be a small percentage of who you are. And I think that way too many people get wrapped up in that. But anyway, Hamill chatted up with Ukrainian soldiers without realizing that one of the groups had a Nazi flag in the background. It was enough for the actor to trend on Twitter once more for all the wrong reasons in what was in a latest series of tone-deaf virtue signals regarding the issues in Ukraine. Hamill's tweet included the message that, quote, "It was a pleasure meeting with the brave Ukrainian drone operators." It doesn't take, by the way, it isn't brave to operate a drone, bro. It's an Xbox controller, and you do it from safety. Like, I'm not saying it doesn't take skill, okay? And you're highly skilled and you've got a stressful job, but bravery's like, well, you're not in any danger, you're not on the front lines, okay? But shout out to the skill, and the mental toll it takes. But anyway, we talked about challenges they face on a daily basis, but they also wanted to talk about Wookiees and farm boys and droids. Oh my, show your support here. By the way, this was a fundraiser, okay? So like, he gets tricked into fundraising for Nazis. I'm not kidding. The comments are great too. If you look in these comments, suddenly he's like, I have no idea what the flag signifies. My support is simply for Ukraine. Crazy how a guy who played Star Wars characters' entire life has only been capable of perceiving complex geopolitical conflict through the lens of good versus evil. You see, like, Mark, I know you think you're helping here and doing good and positive thing here, but you're talking to guys that have a Nazi flag. This is so great. I mean, everything about it is so great. It couldn't happen to a more insufferable douche, all right? Many Star Wars fans, including a significant number of Jewish Twitter users, were none too thrilled by Hamill's nonchalance and ignorance. Joseph Louis Larange, I don't know if that's right or not. You sound French, so I don't care. Just kidding. Shout out to my French viewers. You're supporting fascists and trying to make it sound cute with a Star Wars reference. See, they have the swastika flag here, Azov Battalion. Bookburb says, quickly provided some visual aids for Mark Hamill to digest, showing the breakdown of the bad guys from WW2 symbols commonly utilized, which include the infamous black sun present in the aforementioned video. Former U.S. Marine and geopolitical commentator Brian J. Berlitic, went straight for the jugular by highlighting the presence of the flag in the video roundtable discussion with Mark Hamill. Did you notice the Nazi flag in the background? If they are unconcerned about anyone noticing, imagine what other aspects they feel free to indulge in. Easy to understand that the necessity behind Russia's decision to launch the special military operation. Now, look, would any of us, sure, I hear you in the comments. Some people will say like, well, I would have known that. I wouldn't have known that. And certainly, like, I'm not like gonna go crazy and say Hamill supports it or something like that. He obviously didn't know, but it is hilarious. And this is the kind of stuff that happens when you want to virtue signal and rush through your Zoom calls with Star Wars. And the video you see, the video was originally posted on Up24's Twitter page, which was spearheaded by President Volodymyr Zelensky as a means to capture the hearts and minds of sympathetic people around the globe. Unfortunately, it's also showcasing the ugly side of the war that has very few good guys, but many shades of interlacing gray. Mark Hamill talking with Ukrainian fighters supporting Nazi symbolism is about as bad as it gets, and fans were quick to ratio his tweet whilst letting him know. User Ask Eve wrote, "Hey Mark, big fan of yours, and it's really terrifying to see you not acknowledging the very obvious flag in the video. I understand if you didn't recognize it. I know lots of us might not have, but it's been pointed out to you, and your silence is very painful. It's a perfect encapsulation of the support Ukraine fad that has swept over the left since Russia made the moves into the country. It's also a reminder of the sharp 180-degree turnabout from the days when the same left-wing media proclaimed Ukraine to be corrupt to the gills with a plague of inescapable Nazism at every turn." By the way, shout out to Bounding into Comics. This is a good article by them. And yes, if you look back just a few years, there are many, 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 many articles about corruption in Ukraine, about all sorts of stuff of this matter. But, all those kind of got memory hold. And I'm sure the Ukrainian people are awesome. Every nation has their sects of bad people. It's a tough position, being here over in the United States. I don't know. I've never been to Ukraine, never been to Russia. But I know that people exist in every country that don't, I don't support literally anything Joe Biden does. But if somebody's sitting in Ukraine or Russia and they're thinking, hey, you're in America, you support funding this war. I don't. But so I understand, why this is different. Why, how things can get complicated, I'll say. The latest gaffe couldn't come at a worse time, thanks in large part to last week's leakage of classified documents regarding Ukraine by a young 21-year-old officer. While the leftist media desperately tried to swivel the focus onto the leaker, the world kept eyeballing the actual materials, which showed that the war in Ukraine isn't going as swimmingly as everyone first thought. It also cast some serious doubts on the cozy, warm relationship between Biden White House and Zelensky, who has since been ruling like a tyrant. The flag in question featured in the video represented the Black Sun, which is commonly associated with neo-bad guy groups all over the world. So I think it's pretty hilarious. Again, I don't blame Mark Hamill for not knowing, okay? But, if you're going to offer what does the left always say? If you're gonna platform, of all the times all these leftoids said oh my God, you had Ben Shapiro on your campus, you're platforming a literal Nazi. That's actually what Mark Hamill's doing here, or what Mark Hamill did, which I think is, I don't know, hilarious. And Mark, obviously has been backtracking, saying, well, I didn't know. Sure. I mean, obviously, I don't think you did know. I don't think it would be fair to, he said, I have no idea what the flag signifies. My support is simply for Ukraine over the Russian invasion. And he got ratioed on that. So what you have to know is maybe before you rush to pick a side, you should do some research. Hey, I got sucked into that early on too. Now that I'm more grizzled and I've been watching it go on so long, I don't like any of the sides in it. I don't like, my government, what is, in my opinion, laundering billions of dollars over there. I don't like Zelensky because I think The dude is just, I mean, milking us, and I don't believe in, the decisions he's making are suspect at best. I'm not exactly a fan of Putin either. So, I mean, I wish they would have kept the money right here in this country and taken care of it. My concern is for the citizens, not the people in power, but maybe double check before you're doing any more Zoom calls with literal Nazis there, Hamill. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like on it, and we'll talk to you again real soon.